welcome back to Biotech. Then here we are going to see the second chapter, cell, the basic unit of life. Right. So we are studying about the cell, the basic unit of life. In the last class we discussed about the introduction of the cell, how cell is discovered by the scientists. So there were three scientists were very important in the discovery of microbial world. One is John Samendram Dam and Athanasius Kircher and Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. These three scientists must be remembered regarding the discovery of the microbial world. And whereas we discussed about the discovery of non-living cell, non-living cell is discovered by Robert Hooke in the year of 1665. He took the oak tree plant bark and kept under the microscope. When he took the oak tree plant bark and kept under the microscope, he observed with a single lens microscope. When he observed the microscope through the microscope, he had seen some cells, that means some small chambers in the oak tree plant bark. These small little rooms, every small little room he called as a one of the cell. Generally cell is a Latin word which means a little room. So first time the non-living cell is discovered by Robert Hooke in the year of 1665. This is all about we discussed in the last class. And one more thing, living cells were discovered by the Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. Generally Anthony van Leeuwenhoek is not a scientist, he was a merchant. Because of his very much passionate to observe the fiber thickness of the fiber, he had formulated one single lens microscope. That single lens microscope can magnify 300 times. This is very most important point. Anthony van Leeuwenhoek microscope can magnify 300 times. This should be underlined. 300 times more than the normal size. So with this single lens microscope, he also observed some pond water. When he observed the pond water, he had seen some living beings in the pond water which are moving. These living beings he called as animalcules. Those animalcules again afterwards he called as bacteria. In that living beings there is a bacteria, protozoans, yeast cells. These are the three most important living organisms first he discovered. So bacteria, protozoan, yeast cells. Yeast cell is nothing but it is a single celled fungi. And also he observed the RBC. So these are all the different discoveries which were made by the Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. This is all about we discussed in the last class. So that you can refer once. Then after we shall continue the chapter, the cell basic unit of life. Here we are going to observe the cells, some cells. Suppose if you want to observe the oak tree plant bark, it is not available to us. In the school or in the class, it is not available to us. So the oak tree plant bark. So instead of oak tree plant bark, here we are going to observe about the matchstick. We are going to observe the matchstick. For the observation of matchstick, what we are doing, we have taken a one matchstick and soaked in the water for 1 hour or half an hour. Then after that matchstick should be cut with the help of the blade with a small slice. We should peel out a small slice of the matchstick with the help of the blade, and it should be kept on the slide. Pour it one water drop and cover it with the cover slip so that you can make it a slide. After preparing the slide, if you put under the microscope and observe, then we can see here the cells are like this, matchstick cells. If you observe the matchstick cells, the matchstick cells are like this. The matchstick cells we can observe like this. We can observe the matchstick cells. See how the cells are. The cells are like this. The matchstick cells are like this. Then mastic cells, if we can observe here, what is the shape? First we will decide the shape of the mastic cells. And whereas next, after the mastic cells, we can also observe the cells in the onion peel. Cells in onion peel. Okay, next we shall see cells in onion peel. Suppose when we observe, suppose to observe the cells in onion peel, here we shall do one thing. Take an onion peel, break it in the middle. If you break the middle, the onion, suppose a big onion you can take, and the thick onion peel you can remove from the onion, and you can break it in the middle. So when you break it in the middle, you can see some small slices you can see. So one of the small slice or one of the thin slice, you can take it out and spread it on the slide and keep it a water drop and put it under the microscope, cover it with the cover slip and put it under the microscope and observe. Then here also the onion peel cells also we can observe like this. The onion peel cells also we can observe like this. So here onion peel cells we can observe like this. Onion peel cells also we can observe. So this is the onion peel cells. So whether the bark of the oak tree plant, instead of the bark of the oak tree plant, here we have taken the what mastic cells, and here again onion peel cells also we have taken. Then onion peel cells, if we have taken this onion peel cells and mastic cells, both are in the same size and shape. The shape of the cell is same. See, onion peel cells are in rectangle shape, whereas here mastic cells are also rectangle in shape. That shows about, we can observe a common character here. What is the common character? The common character in the mastic cells and onion peel cells, the common character is the cells of plant, or the plant cells are generally which are in rectangle in shape. Okay, plant cells are generally which shape? Rectangle in shape. Plant cells can be observed in the rectangle shape. And can you observe anything more in the plant cell? Here we can also observe the plant cells are surrounded with a thick layer of membrane. See, the plant cells are surrounded with a thick layer of membrane. Why? Because every plant cell is surrounded by the cell membrane, and even the cell membrane outer side there is also one more membrane, that is called cell wall. So because of the presence of cell wall in the plant cell, the plant cells are very thick in size, very thick. Plant cells are very thick in size. So here we can see, suppose if it is a plant cell, the plant cell is surrounded with the cell membrane, and plant cell is also surrounded with the cell wall. Because of the presence of cell wall and cell membrane, both are present in the plant cell, so that the cell size is very thick. The boundaries of the cell is very thick. Why? Because here there is a specific membrane that is present as what? Cell wall. So the cell wall is present only in the plant cell, but cell wall is absent in animal cell. Okay, suppose example, when you observe the animal cell, in animal cell only there is plasma membrane, but cell wall is absent. That's why we can say cell wall is present only in the plant cell, cell wall is absent in animal cell. And because of the presence of the cell wall, the boundaries of the cells here, they are very thick in size. See, the boundaries of cells are very thick in size because of the presence of cell wall. Then below the cell wall we can also see there is a cell membrane. So the cell membrane, cell wall is present. That's why the cell of the plant cell is very thick. And we can also see the nucleus. The nucleus is just beside of the cell, not in the center of the cell. The nucleus is just beside it. So like this we can observe the cells in the onion peels and cells in where mastic. So mastic cells and onion peel cells, if we observe here, this is the shape of the cell. So first time the non-living cell is discovered by Robert Hooke. That Robert Hooke discovered the oak tree plant bark. Instead of oak tree plant bark, here we have taken the mastic and onion peel cells. So bark cells are plant cells, whereas onion peel cells and mastic cells are also plant cells. So where he observed Robert Hooke the cells, that is what rectangle shape, where in a onion peel cells and matchstick cells are also in the rectangular shape. So with this we can understand all the plant cells are in rectangle shape. Then the boundaries of the plant cells are very thick in size, because there is cell wall and cell membrane is present. Cell membrane above, there is cell wall is present. Because of the cell wall, the cells are very thick. And one more thing, the cell wall inside there is cell membrane inside there is cytoplasm inside there are cell organelles. Then nucleus is especially beside, not in the center of the cell. So this is all about the observation of the plant cells with the help of the onion peels and mastic. In the coming class we shall also observe how animal cells are different from the plant cells. What is the shape of animal cell? Let us discuss this, we will study in the coming classes. Thank you.